Girls.
Yes, and we are live and direct.
Hey.
Happy Friday, everybody. It is so good to see
Friday.
another Friday.
Yes.
Yes.
Turn up.
Water.
Water.
So happy Friday, man. Listen, y'all, we made it to another Friday, another relationship Friday. So I'm excited to be here. Ladies, how was y'all week?
Wonderful.
Cool.
Yes.
It was a full week, but it was good. Good.
Excellent. Yeah. This week, I was telling Latanya, this week was different. This week, what they say, this week hit different. It hit different. So I'm definitely happy that it's Friday. Happy Friday. Listen, y'all know what to do. When y'all come in, let us know where y'all are tuning in from. So in the comments, let us know where y'all are tuning in from. It is another Relationship Friday brought to you by RDH Counseling and Consulting, where we help you become your healthiest self. So listen, I'm your host, the most. I am Rachel Hunter, your licensed clinical social worker, certified relationship coach, wellness coach, business consultant. I help get you right, okay?
Okay.
So I'm excited to be here. Listen, as y'all see, I have some beautiful ladies with me tonight. And I'm excited for us to jump into our conversation. If this is your first time tuning in with us, I want you to put in the comments first time or newbie. If you've been rocking with us, put number 2. This is not my first time. So as y'all tune in, let us know where you are tuning in from. I want you to do a couple of things. My team always tells me to say, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe, because we are streaming to Facebook, we're streaming to LinkedIn, and we're also on YouTube. So like, share, and subscribe, and go ahead and invite your friends, because y'all know on Fridays we have a good time. But we always leave challenged, right? Feeling challenged to grow, to do the work that we need to do to make sure our relationships are where they need to be. So listen, last Friday we had the fellas up here. And ladies, the fellas, they were giving it to us. They were telling us what it takes for them when they are looking at safe spaces, like in their relationships, what they're looking for. So we had a delicious conversation. And so we're going to kind of pick up there, right? We're talking about what do we as women need in our relationships, whether it's romantic, whether it's friendships or family. So I'm excited to jump into this conversation. Are y'all ready? Are y'all excited?
Of course.
Awesome. All right. So I want you all to introduce yourselves. Janae, I'll start with you. Introduce yourself, please, and tell us a little bit about you, and then we'll go to the other beautiful ladies.
All right. Well, first, thank you so much for having me. And I am Janae K, and I teach women how to own their serenity, their sensuality, and their soul. To some, I'm a counselor. To some, I'm a therapist. To some, I'm a mentor, coach, inspiration, muse, all of the above at times. I am the facilitator of a service called the Yoni Steam Experience by Janae K. So I do quite a few things in the area of femininity, sensuality, and self-care, and supporting women in their overall wellness, mind, body, and spirit.
Yes. And listen, if you have not had and Janae said, let me know if I'm saying it right, the steam.
The Yoni Steam.
Listen, ladies, not experience the Yoni steam. I'm going to need you to get with Janae and get your Yoni all the way.
Yes.
Well, thank you.
Yes. Well, thank you for being here. Thank you for taking time out to spend with us. So we're excited to have you here, and we're definitely excited to have you join it. Hold on. Woo!
Bless you.
Hold
Bless
on.
you.
Bless you.
Yes. I love
Bless
you. Thank you for being here.
My pleasure.
And if you want to get with her, her information is posted. All righty. So, Miss Nicole.
Hi, thank you for having me as well. I'm Nicole. I'm a registered nurse. Right now I work at Centennial for General, PRN, and I do travel. So,
Ooh.
yes.
Listen. So, Nicole is gonna get you right. Okay.
Yeah.
Take good care of you. Take very good care of you.
That part. We're excited, Nicole, to have you here
Thank
with
you.
us.
Thank
And we cannot wait to talk and hear
Yeah.
pick your brain. So that is exciting. All right. So Latanya has been a guest with us before. So we are excited to have Latanya back with us.
Yes, thank you.
So listen, I'm gonna pick with Latanya a little bit.
Yes,
So
go ahead.
last week, was that last week?
It was, yes, it was.
So listen, for those of y'all who were here last week, I know y'all recall I made a comment about one of my girlfriends that her body is banging, and I mentioned that she's a health coach. Well, this is her. This is her, y'all.
Yes, I was like, thank you, Rachel. Like, girl, how you know I'm talking about you?
I'm talking about you.
It's gotta be me. No.
Yes. All right,
Yes.
come on, Latanya. Tell us all about
All right, girl. Okay, so I'm Latanya Davis. I'm a registered nurse also. I do home care for Bon Secours. And I'm gonna be doing some travel nursing too. And yes, and I'm also a certified personal trainer. So if you need help with reaching your fitness goals,
yes,
hit me up. Yes.
Listen, 2022, we are getting all the way right? We talk about self-care and your physical health, your sexual health, all of that is important. So listen, we have ladies here that'll get you right. So connect with them. All right. For those of y'all just tuning in, welcome to another Relationship Friday. As you come in, I want you to let us know where you're tuning in from. And I want you to share this and invite. All right. Are y'all ready to hop on in to our conversation?
Yes, let's do it.
Let's get it.
Yes. All right. So I'm just going to start from the beginning. And listen, I know y'all see my eyes is going here and there. That's because I'm trying to monitor this, and that at the same time.
All right.
Okay.
You got it.
So I want us to kind of start by talking about like what is this safe space? When we're thinking about a safe space, like how do y'all define that? How would you describe it? What is a safe space? And Nicole, we'll start with you. When you think about a safe space, Nicole's like, why you got to pick and start with me first?
The most wisest person in the room.
Whatever.
No, sorry. So for me, I consider a safe space as far as like in a relationship, or elaborate, like relationship wise.
You can start wherever you want, right? If there's a difference, then kind of tell the difference.
Okay. So for me, even for female guys, like if I'm in a relationship with a guy, a safe space for me would be just being able to be vulnerable, being able to like just have my boxes checked, like making sure that, I don't want to list my stuff up here because this is, but just making sure that my boxes are, yes, boxes have to be checked, but being able to at least be vulnerable in front of him, and my friend and my girlfriends, you know what I'm saying? Because we go to them to release too, you know.
Yep.
Um,
Yep, definitely. I love that. Okay, so feel a safe space for you is a place that allows you to be vulnerable. And I think that's important. Hey, Vernell, welcome, welcome. We have Chesapeake in the building. Welcome, welcome. Share this, invite your friends, and thank y'all for those of y'all who have shared. All right, so same thing for you, Latanya. Like, what would you say? You know, what's important? Like, what helps you get that safe space? How do you define a safe space? Like, what even is that when you think about it?
Okay, so for me, a safe space is, just being able to, whether it's a man or a girlfriend or a family member, just being able to, sit down and talk about whatever you need to without any judgment.
Yeah.
That's a big thing because, a lot of times, when you talk to people, they may judge you, but they can't. They just need to listen because you need to talk to someone. Definitely. Yeah. And for me, people need safe spaces anyway to be able to communicate with people because you never know what people are going through. When someone doesn't have someone, if they don't feel like they have somebody they can truly go to and really say what they want to say, it could be a problem. And then that's when things start occurring and you just feeling some type of way and kind of go into your little hole and feel like you by yourself, and that can cause problems. So just being able to have people where you can just talk and be free and say what you want to say and no judgment.
Yeah, I think that is so important, right? That no judgment zone. I could just be me. And that's what one of the male guests was saying last week, like being able to take my mask off, like I can just let my hair down and I could just cry, or I could just tell you like, yo, this is what I'm going through right now. And we see all of these suicides in the last couple of months, even last year, and people not having that safe space. So that definitely makes sense. Janae, what's your thoughts, your feelings? What is a safe space for you, and like, how do you even describe that?
So I love what Nikki and Tanya said about vulnerability, being able to be vulnerable, being able to be fully witnessed and fully seen, without judgment is very important. And I believe that starts with your own heart. So when you are connected to your own heart and your self-love is next level, then whomever you bring into your world is already going to be a safe space. Because once you create that environment of safety within yourself, you normally are only going to attract other people who are going to reflect that back to you. So when you start to release your own shame and guilt and judgment within yourself, you become your own safe space. And then that's what you're going to start attracting. It's going to be a part of your life on a regular basis. But it really starts with the whole letting go your own shame, your own guilt, being fully witnessed and seen for yourself, being vulnerable with yourself and honest with yourself. And then you don't care who else sees it because you're good within yourself to do that.
I love that. I love that, right? That piece of being connected to you. And once you've got you squared away, and that's kind of what we talk about in our self-care course, it's becoming your own best friend first, right? Holding space for you, connecting with you, and y'all drink your water. Y'all see,
gotta have your water. Gotta stay hydrated.
Look, so we try to be healthy. Every time somebody drinks water or mentions it, somebody else drinks it. I don't have my water bottle.
I mean, I don't know what Janae. I don't know if that's water in her glass.
Let's be clear. Water, but I put it in a pretty glass.
I love it, Janae. I love it. Yes.
I love that. I love what you all ladies are saying. That being able to be vulnerable, being able to have somebody that you feel you can trust, and starting with you, right? Being able to trust you, let go of shame, be connected with you makes it a lot easier to attract the right type of people to be in your space. So I love that. I love that. When you're thinking about a relationship, the safe space that you have in a romantic relationship versus, let's say, like your girlfriends, is there a difference, you know, when you're thinking about what you're looking for, or what makes it a safe space? Is there a difference? Would any of y'all say there is a difference? Is there more or less?
A little different, but just based upon the roles they play in your life. You know, the vulnerability and the judgment piece to me and the trust, that's consistent. But I think for, you know, romantic relationships, you know, I'm looking for the protection, the provision in that way. And so that makes them safe because, you know, women, we like to feel safe, secure, you know, stable, protected. And in a romantic relationship, that's very important for you to have that, or at least it is for me. To feel that with that person. Yeah, so it's a little different. A little different.
Y'all agree with that? Okay.
I agree.
Gotcha. Let me look. I'm on Clubhouse, so you know they talk about resetting the room. Never resetting the room. For those of y'all who are just tuning in, welcome. Hey, I see we got Tay. I see we got G. Let us know where y'all are tuning in from. We are talking about what women are looking for, what they need as their safe space, both in a romantic, but then also in platonic friendships, right? And there's this whole, and I'm going to kind of jump around a little bit, but a lot of times there is this myth about women when it comes to being safe spaces for each other, right? Like having the sisterhood, having a bond. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that myth piece of things, like, can women be friends, be a safe space, or is there, you know, this cattiness, or, you know, is it possible for women to be safe spaces for each other? So let's kind of go there first, and then I want to get into the romantic part of things and what that looks like and how that's important. So let me throw that out there to y'all. And Nikki, start with you. Is it possible?
Definitely.
What are your thoughts, right? Is this a myth that women are catty, they can't support each other, you know, they're not able to be safe spaces for other women? Talk me through that.
Women, we definitely can be a safe space. If I didn't have that, I wouldn't have a friend. Like, I'm not gonna be fake or phony, or have my friends be fake or phony to me. So if you can't be my safe space, then I can just have my mom or, you know, family members. But yes, women can definitely be each other's safe space. And I think it's important that we have an outside person, not just a family member, someone outside of your family, able to, you know, talk to you and get you through certain things and be your rock at certain times.
Gotcha. Tanya, oh,
Yes.
My safe space. LaTanya, how challenging may it be for women to be able to have, like what Nikki's saying, that outside source or phone?
I mean, it can be tough. It can, because I mean, of course, we all have friends and we all have associates. I mean, some people we just not gonna, you know, have them in, you know, our business if we truly have something that we need to say. So it can be rough, because you really got to trust that person, because you want them to really be able to feel like your information, the information that they give you, that it is safe. Like, it's not, like it's not gonna be, you know, talking to this person about that person and that one and all that. So like Nikki, she is a safe space for me. And Janae, I heard about you. Janae is my safe place. I was just talking to her the other day. Like, even if I'm thinking about maybe going 0 to 1,000 about something, I can think about Janae. And that's what friendships, being, you know, in a relationship with the man, like, I think of Janae, like, what would Janae do? And it just I mean, I was like, okay, Janae, because Janae does not argue.
Gotcha.
She just is calm, and yeah, she really keeps it together. So, Janae, I was just telling her yesterday.
That
Yeah.
is awesome.
Yeah.
I
Janae,
appreciate you.
yeah, listen, Janae, when you hear that, and you think about other women who may not have a safe space or may not have experienced being able to trust another person, what would you say are some of the challenges or barriers that women kind of may have when it comes to connecting with other women?
Yeah, I think a lot of it all still ties back to self. Really, at the end of the day, everything goes back to self. So with the whole trust piece, you have to start learning to trust yourself, trusting yourself to make a good decision, trusting your intuition, trusting that no matter what happens, it's a lesson for you there, whether it feels good or not. And I've learned to not take things personally. You know, when people present certain things, it comes to you a certain way, most of the time it doesn't have anything to do with you. So if you can learn how to reflect it back to them and say, oh, something must be going on with them, and not take it personally, you won't have that feeling of, you know, that internal turmoil that people have about trust, because you'll understand that they're going through something, you know? So it all boils back down to self-awareness, self-love, self-care, self-mastery, all of that. And that helps you learn how to trust yourself when you are dealing with other people, when you are choosing friendships, or even if they're not quote unquote chosen. Sometimes people show up in our world for a lesson, whether the lesson is for that person or for us.
Yeah.
And learning to recognize that and moving accordingly with that.
I love that. And I mean, you're hitting it on the head that when you get to a place of self-mastery, like that word, I love that. And that's one of the things that I was talking about earlier, recognizing the truth, which is the outer world does not have to shift or change your inner world when you have mastered self. And so that being able to connect with other people, it really does take you to be in a healthier space, right? So if something happens, they say something, and you're able to not jump to conclusions that, oh, I must have done something wrong, or but no, it's putting it where it belongs. They so I love that. I want to bring in some of the comments. So for those of y'all in the audience, same question for you. When you think about a safe space, what do you look for? And what's been your experience? So for the women, what's been your experience with connecting with other women? Have you had success, or have you had challenges with that? So I want to hear from you all about that. Hey, Tay. Tay said, hey, ladies.
Hey, Tay.
Hey.
She said, but we have been taught otherwise. So sometimes there is this perception that women can't connect. There's this cattiness, but Tay is also saying that each one teach one. So when you learn how to connect with women and you appreciate, and that was the thing that I really loved the time that you were saying, and Nikki, when a woman and you're able to connect with her and she is that, like you value the relationship, making it known, sharing that. So I love that. I love that. Let's go to the next question. When we're talking about relationships, so we're going to we've talked about it from the friendship kind of space of it, and now I want us to migrate to the relationship piece of things, right? The romantic relationship. Janae, you mentioned having that in a romantic relationship, the protection is important. What are some other things? And Nikki, we'll start with you. What are some other things, like when you're talking about a safe space when it comes to a romantic relationship? And we can't speak for all women, but what are some things, right, that women are looking for that are important from their partner? Like, yeah, I need this. I need to know this about you, or see these characteristics. Like what's important for you?
I think for me, especially when like being out in the dating world. I think just coming across men who have been unemotionally available. I think that to me, that I need that because I'm an emotional person. I need you to express how you feel. I need you to talk to me. I need to know what's going on in your head. You know. So, yeah. And I just think, just communication, just being able to communicate, and just, talk to each other and see what's going on, because from there we can figure out the rest of the way. But if we can't even start there, then we're gonna be stopped and stuck.
We got some problems. It's gonna be some problems.
Where you coming from? You don't know where I'm coming from. So yeah.
That is important too, because and sometimes the challenge is that men are socialized not to connect on this emotional level, or not that they can't connect, but when it comes to expressing themselves, there is a socialization not to do it, because if you do it, you're weak.
But you're not though. You're really not.
Latanya, same question.
Yes, I agree with what Nikki was saying. Definitely the secure part and feeling, protected, and the communication is definitely the key. Because you can't, like, if somebody has something on their mind, sometimes we keep it bottled up. And we catch an attitude, about it, but you're not speaking about it, so the other person doesn't know what's going on. So it becomes an issue, and it can, become an argument. What supposed to had maybe been a conversation. So, so communication definitely.
Gotcha. On a scale of 1 to 10, when y'all are talking about emotions and being able to be, 1, being emotionally available, and then 2, being able to communicate your needs or whatever is going on, what number would you give? 10 is like, yo, this has to be here, and 1 is like, I can pass. What number would y'all give for these things?
Oh, it needs to be there. It needs to be there.
I'll say 8. 8. Just so he ain't got to be perfect, but
Right.
But it definitely needs to be there, because if it's not there, then it's not going to become anything.
Definitely.
Okay. And that's how are we, Janae, let me ask you this same question. I want you to also think of this as well. How are we as women communicating that, right? That I need you to be like, what your expectations are. How are we communicating that? How well are we communicating that? So Janae, same question for you. And then that second part, I want to hear from us about that as well.
Definitely, I feel that some men can show up differently for you than they may have in the past. And a lot of their willingness to communicate or be open does start with you having an open heart. And so if you are one who comes to them with an open heart and are expressive and, are able to tap into your femininity in a soft and tender place, it opens them up to do the same. Of course, the same as you, and we don't want them to. Feeling comfortable to. So the more we are open and expressive, it makes them feel comfortable to be more open and expressive. Like you said, some of them have been socialized not to, and then some that may have had a bad experience and they have shut that part of themselves off. So I feel like we as women, when we show up that way, they show up differently for us. What was the other part of your question again?
So before we get to the other part, Nikki, you agree, disagree? Sound like you, where were you?
I mean, I'm 50-50 because it just depends on the man. It's themselves, like you can be expressive all you want. Sometimes if that man is just not going to open up, he's just not going to open up. Maybe it's not, it's definitely not you as a person. It's definitely them. So some men just won't do it. They just will not open up at all. And so sometimes it takes counseling for them to even realize that they are like that before they think that it's us. Oh, why do you always want to talk? Why, why do I need to sit down, talk to your girlfriends? That's what they're there for. Well, why can't we talk about this? Some men just don't even realize that that's an issue, and they want to put the blame on us and say, hey, you too emotional for me. Like you want to talk too much. And so it's 50-50. Like, some men you can be expressive and you can help them to understand where you're coming from. And then maybe they can come, get on board and say, okay, I hear where you're coming from. But that is the man that is truly trying to change and be there for you. Now, if a man is not trying to be there for you, he don't care what you say, he's not going to change his ways. So that's why I say 50, like 50.
Okay. LaTanya, where do you weigh in on that?
It depends. I mean, it depends, because my thing is, it can be the woman too at the same time. I know for me, I wasn't always, the soft, gentle, woman, that I have become now. So, I was hard at first, so if I'm gonna be hard, like I was talking last weekend, like if I'm gonna be hard, the man gonna be hard, like it's just not gonna be a good connection. So, as a woman, I had to, look at myself and, do some self-care for me to figure out, what I needed to do to, to make it, better. And then once I become better, then, that person, does, because we can't both be the man.
Yeah. Yeah. I love what y'all are both saying, right? What all of y'all are saying is that there is instances where there are some individuals, both men and women, who struggle when it comes to being soft, when it comes to connecting with their inner world and feeling safe enough to bring it outwards, right? So you do have those individuals that struggle with that. And then you also have times where individuals just are not willing. It's too scary. I don't want to, or I just, it's too much. No, right? And so you do have that. And when that happens, there is a decision to be made. Do I continue to beg for this emotional connection, or do I make a decision that I deserve better, right? So that does happen. The other part of it is, and this is the growing, the healing, and the maturing part that LaTanya is talking about as well, where you were able to recognize that, wait a minute, now I'm a little, as I say, this masculine energy, like, let me, like, all right, now you said you wanted an alpha, a leader, a man. I mean, you gonna let him, right? So learning to connect with him, allow being secure enough in ourselves that we can trust this person that we've decided to be with, that we can let our guard down, and that we can be soft with them. And that's a journey. Like, that doesn't always happen overnight, right? Yeah, I was laughing because that was me. Listen, bro, what you, what you doing, Ray? And it did take a certain man to, it took work on my part to be able to recognize that I did not have to be afraid to connect with my emotions and to let my guard down, to let a man into that space. But then, like Nikki was saying, it took a certain man for me to be able to say, I'm not intimidated by that, Ray. And I'm like, okay, all right. Okay.
I like you.
So there is that combination of things. So
and too, I want to say this too, and it's funny because it takes a certain kind of man to stick around for you to, you know what I'm saying, for you to change and become and grow. It really does. Yeah.
I want to bring in some of the comments. Thank y'all for your comments. Keep them coming. So Tay said, so they are agreeing with what y'all are saying. They're definitely agreeing with y'all. Tay said, for me, actions speak louder than words. Show me, express yourself, and show me the real you, not this representative. So for Tay, she's like, listen, for my safe space, like I need, especially in a romantic relationship, I need someone that's going to be genuine and authentic. So what are y'all thoughts? That kind of resonates with y'all as well?
Definitely.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Excellent.
Definitely.
Hey, Maxwell. Pleasure to have you back. He is joining us from California. So he was the guest that we had.
Ooh.
Burnell said, I have been so blessed with a man that is very verbal and allows me to be me. We have been together through the good and the bad and downright ugly. And he's been very supportive. That was what you were talking about, the time you like sticking around. He is encouraging, strong, and has been in qualms about, and has no qualms about telling me when I'm wrong. And sometimes we need that. Like, we need that. He is not a yes, honey man. He works at our relationship and doesn't run when it's tough. Let's talk about that, right? This whole thing
I
about
love it.
a certain kind of man. He is not gonna just let you run over him. Like, how important is that for y'all? Like, Janae, chime in and let me hear from the rest of y'all.
That's important.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me pretty good?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I shared with you all last week that I love a masculine man, and I'm, because I like being soft, and I want to be able to stay in that softness and that, flow. And so if I feel like I'm around a man who is strong in his masculinity and he knows who he is, that feels good. That feels good to me. And, we were saying earlier, I don't expect the man to communicate with me the way my girlfriends do. I want you to, yes, be gentle with my heart, but be the man. So it's a different kind of communication, but still is needed. But that masculinity, honey, ain't nothing can take the place of it. Nothing.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree with Janae. And for the record, like it does, for me, it feels good to be soft, and not hard, and let the man be hard, it really does. It really makes a difference. Like the relationship just goes smoother. Yeah, it really does.
Yeah. And that's what a lot of women are saying, right? That we want, especially women that have been single parents, business owners, corporate women. Like we are in roles that require us to take the lead all of the time, and that can drain you. And we're saying, I want to let it, I want to be able to be soft. I don't want to have to do everything all the time.
Right.
Take the back seat.
Yeah. So in order for us to allow someone to help us in those areas, we really do have to relinquish control and kind of back up and let the man do
let
what
them
he
lead.
designed to. Let him do what he designed to do.
Yes.
Come on through here, please.
And if you don't allow him to, either you don't trust him, that's the wrong man for you.
That part.
If you don't trust him to do it for you.
Yes.
Definitely.
Thank you, Coach Janae.
Yes. When you are thinking about this whole piece of this may not be the right man, right? Especially in a relationship. So we've talked about some of the traits that are important in the relationship. So the emotional, being emotionally connected or available, because that is important. There are some men who are not emotionally available. And when you notice that, so there are things that you can look for. There are signs that you can look for to let you know, oh, he is not emotionally available. So how does he, when you do express your needs to him, when you attempt to share on a deeper level, and this person completely shuts down or is unwilling to go there with you, that is one of the signs you want to kind of look at. How do they how do they deal with their emotions? Do they express their emotions? And this is not always a bad thing, because Nikki, you hit it on the head, that there are times and there are people where it's challenging for them. They haven't done it in the past. I can't remember who said that, but that's not in their forte, right? They haven't had the practice of connecting and sharing emotionally, right? They may be stuck. There are times where people are emotionally limited. I was going to say retarded, but they're emotionally limited, meaning stuck. And so that they may not be able to provide you with that. Janae said it earlier, that's not a reflection on you. It's you recognizing that they can't give me what I need. So that we've got the communication, that this person is you feel safe around them. They are protective. What are other traits, characteristics, things that when you're thinking about, this is a person that I am starting to feel like, oh, they are a safe space. What did they show? What did they display? What were some of the other characteristics that started to help you let your guard down and feel like I can let them have my heart? Let's talk about that. So LaTanya, start us off.
Let me see. So,
I know for me and you, what we talk about. If I call and you don't answer, you follow up with a text message.
Oh yeah,
like just let me know what's going on.
Yeah, what's going on. Yeah, that's true. So, because you don't want. Okay.
Wait, break that down. Tell what.
Okay. Again, it goes back to communication.
Okay.
Like, say, if you called a person and they didn't answer the phone because they couldn't, they were busy at the time. That's understandable. At least they may send you a quick text back to say something to let you know, instead of just, finishing what they're, doing, and it just goes very long, and you start to wonder, what's going on? Like, you didn't shoot, something, say something instead of just nothing at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. Let's kind of get into that a little bit more, right? This whole idea of it definitely is communication. But why is that important, right? Like, okay, I reached out to you, you didn't reach back, you didn't answer, follow up with this text. What does this text say to you? What does it mean to you? Why is that text important? What does that communicate to you?
For me, at least, it knows that they acknowledge that I called, and if they don't have time to talk right now, it is okay. But at least they just acknowledge instead of, I guess, you feeling ignored.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that is okay. So this is what I'm hearing you say, and I want us to delve a little bit deeper into that, right? Because when we're talking about not feeling ignored, right? So if the person didn't answer, what I'm hearing you say is, if you didn't answer because you were busy, you couldn't, there is the chance that I may interpret that as, and I'm going to use this word, it's a little strong, but I want you
to use it.
Rejected.
Like it.
And is there, and see, this is where Janae said it earlier, this is where the health, the relationship that you have with you is play a huge role. Because if the person doesn't answer the phone because they're busy and they don't send the text, are we jumping to the conclusion? That's a cognitive distortion. That's an unhealthy way of thinking. Are we jumping to the conclusion?
No.
And so that's something we want to think about. Go ahead.
Now, I will say, since I have grown and, and have gotten better, yes, I used to be that person, absolutely. But now I'm not.
If you didn't get that text back, if you didn't get a text,
I'm not thinking anything else. I'm just, you're busy and you will call me back. Yeah, absolutely. But I didn't used to be that person. I will honestly say that.
For
Yes.
me, it depends on the person. For me,
Tell
it
me
really
what you
depends on
mean.
the person. Because if you're my man, or I text you and I don't get a response, then that's an issue, because then don't expect the same behavior. Mirror your behavior. So, but for my girlfriends, I mean, I expected, like, sometimes we're not gonna hit each other back up. Like sometimes I'm just like not wanting to talk. And Latanya, she'll call and I don't answer the phone. And I don't even follow up with a text message. And then she'll call me back later. And I'm like, all right, girl, I was like going through it. I didn't feel like talking, and she'll understand that, you know what I'm saying? But like when it comes to like being in a relationship, like I expect different. Like I'm gonna hold you to I'm putting you on a different level. So I expect you to respond to my text messages and answer my calls and or follow up with a text if you can't. Because I mean, that's just, and it's not about being insecure. It's not about anything like that. It's just about respect. Like, we're in this together. I need to know like that we are, I don't know, because I don't want to go like in my business. It's just that, some of the men, I that's what I need. I
got you. So listen, I'm going to throw that question to the audience, and then Janae, I want you to chime in. So, audience, I want to hear from you all. When it comes to this whole thing of communicating, right? If I call you and you don't answer, do I expect a text or something to say, hey, I know you call, acknowledgement that the call was made? How important is that? What does that say? Do you need it? The other piece is, and Nikki, I love that you brought this up. When we work, when for you, and I think a lot of people are like this as well, for our girlfriends, there are times where we may not feel like talking. And the relationship is such, it sounds like it's strong enough that if I don't answer the phone, you don't get offended. Just like, no, like if she didn't, she probably didn't feel like talking.
Not at all.
Why wouldn't that be like that in a relationship?
So that's why.
So I'm gonna pull in a few things from the audience. Janae, your thoughts, your feelings, where you at with this whole thing, and then we'll pull in from the audience.
So when you mentioned something before, I had a thought when you asked about what other characteristics, with regard to something you want in a romantic relationship. And the other word that came to me that I think is really the concern that is coming on the table, in addition to rejection, is more so consistency. I think that it probably depends on probably the way it started. So if you all started off a certain way and the person was being very responsive and they were doing all the things, and then their pattern changes, then that's what I think starts to put a doubt in people's minds. So then that's when the communication needs to come back in again, because true, there shouldn't be any jumping to conclusions about something. People may not be able to answer. They could be at work, something could have happened, they could have been asleep, but I think that there's conversations that could take place in the beginning about, well, what's the expectation? Because we live in a world now that people think you should be easily accessible to them all the time. And it's not true. And it's not really fair to people, because like Nikki said, you might be in a moment where you're not ready to talk. You might not feel good. You might be tired. And or if you respond in that moment, it may not be a good response, because you may be speaking out of turn, out of anger, out of fear, and you may need a moment to calm down. But I think we don't give everybody that same level of grace, because we are so used to people being to our disposal. But I think the main word really is consistency. So, I think that it still goes back to rejection too. Like, okay, in the beginning, if you're on it, men, women, we all do it. You do so many things in the beginning to get the person. And then when you get the person, the pattern starts to shift. And so then that's when conversations start coming up. People start doubting. They thinking, oh, something was going on. They don't care anymore. And it doesn't have to mean that. It means they got comfortable. Sometimes they get comfortable and
Yes.
just start,
But you can't
not
get
doing the things that you
Don't
should
get
do.
too comfortable, right?
Don't get too
And then, but that's where it still goes back to your own self-worth. Your self-love and self-worth has to amp up because you have to reinstate the value within yourself. You want to be valued, then go back to yourself and do all the things that you were doing probably before you got the person to up your value. Because we change too. You get comfortable. You may not do the things you were doing before that person, whereas before it may have been more about self. Now you kind of like, oh, I got a man. I'm not doing my self-care the way I used to, or I'm not doing my friends time the way I used to. And that changes your, what's the word?
Upcoming.
You know how the men still need a little bit of chase. They still need a little bit of the chase. It's kind of like this, the roles of the masculine and feminine thing. So all that comes into play for me.
Gotcha. So Nikki and Tanya, I see y'all shaking your head. And okay, gotcha. I'm gonna pull in some of the audience. Vernell said, honesty and fully into the relationship. Communication is a very strong key in a relationship. Tay said sometimes you have to check your thinking because you can overthink the situation. It is such a thing of people having a busy life. Know who you are as a person is key, and I think that does play a role as well. And that does kind of help ground you, especially when you're like, wait a minute now, we done shifted. Because at first you were sending me the good morning text and I really liked them. And what happened now? What is we doing? And so in those moments, being able to kind of ground yourself, but then also being comfortable enough to communicate your needs. Hey, I really liked when you used to send me those good morning texts. It really made me feel desired. It really made me feel chased or delicious. It made me feel delicious. I like more. Yeah. So being able to communicate that. We got a few more minutes. Any questions from the audience? If there are men that are wanting to ask questions of the ladies, or in regards to how you can be a safer space, right, for the woman that's in your life, or if you're like, okay, I'm single right now, but how can I connect with a woman? What are they looking for? And ladies, y'all have been doing an excellent job of just being real candid and real honest and transparent about what's important in a relationship. So y'all throw your questions in here. I think we have time for one more question. Any additional things that y'all wanted to say before we jump on to the next question about anything that you wanted to circle back to, or?
No, I'm good.
All right. Excellent.
It'll come back. If it comes back, I'll share it.
Okay. What are some early indicators that this ain't it? This is not a safe space. This person isn't able to be what I need. They don't have the whatever bandwidth. What are some early indicators, or what are some things that let you know? And I know, Nikki, you said earlier that the emotional, being able to be emotionally available. What are some other things that
Also, like what Janae said, just being consistent. Like if your pattern change, why? Like what's going on? So is it something, that we need to discuss, something going on at work, that's why communication is always key. So feel like, it's something, even though I wouldn't feel like it's me, but men sometimes have to be able to express that, and not internalize everything, because sometimes letting it out can help soften the blow, maybe I can help you, come to a conclusion about something. So, just why communication is key, and definitely consistency.
CNC.
Yes.
Yeah.
Consistency.
Gotcha. That consistency.
Right.
And I think that we as women, we are very in tune to our partners. And we know when your patterns change, like, yo, we are on it. Like, honey, I see you. Like, I see you. And I know your patterns. And when you're not consistent, we recognize, we see that, and it sticks out to us. So, yeah. What about you, Latanya?
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking the same thing, especially, you know, communication has been a big thing for me that has improved. So just, you know, communication for me, and being definitely consistent. We need another C word, communication, consistency.
I'll throw one out there, congruent.
There you go.
Right? The man that you are that you're speaking to me about, I am seeing that in your behavior. I'm seeing that in your actions. You are congruent. And for me, that's important, right? Because you can talk a good game and I'm gonna be like, okay, yes, that sounds real good. But I need you to be congruent. I need your behavior and your actions to line up with what you're saying.
Yeah.
For me, that's a red flag. Like if I don't see that, bruh, like brother, it has been real. I have. The lady told me, she said, I'm gonna send you on into your divine purpose.
I like it.
What about for you, Janae? What are some deal breakers or some red flags or some things that let you know that, this isn't a safe space for me?
A couple of things. I'm just sitting here reflecting upon some of like the recent convos I've had with gentlemen, and I found them to be very fascinating. But I listen. I do a lot of listening because you will find out a lot of stuff and you just close your mouth.
Yes.
And I listen to how they talk about other women. I listen to what their beliefs and their values are as it relates to relationships and dating in general. I've had some interesting convos with men about dating and the expectations of what women should do regarding, or what men should do in terms of paying for dates, and or how often or how soon a woman should pay, and how those things look. And like I say all the time, it's not so much about what you say, it's the energy behind it. Like I feel what you say. I don't just listen to it now. I listen first. Then I let my intuition start feeling what you're saying, because if you feel in a certain way, that's what you mean. I don't overlook that because of what I want to hear. And then I've also had, some things happen where so back to safe space, I've shared something with a gentleman and he kind of threw it back up in my face, and I was being authentic. And I didn't really care because it's not a secret or anything like that. But I noticed that he used it as a way to come back and throw it up in my face to justify something that he had thought I should do because of his belief system. So it's, so many things you have to be mindful about when you're dating. But first, like I said, just trusting yourself, listening to your intuition, like how does it feel inside of your body? So you can listen to what he's saying, but once your body start giving you signals, trust it. Because your body, your heart, your yoni is going to tell you the truth, good or bad. Good or bad, she will tell you.
Those are really good words of wisdom. Because I think a lot of times we as women, we as women, we are very intuitive, but we also second guess ourselves. And we know it's, and they have that saying, when a person shows you who they are, believe them.
Believe them.
And a lot, and
the first time.
And a lot of times when we hear that, when a person shows you who they are, we sometimes think think that means that I have to see them red-handed doing something.
Right.
But they show, we see, we're spiritual beings. So we can see. I may not right here see, but I am, like you were saying, Janae, I am sensing and knowing. And so when you're able to trust yourself, so it goes back to what we said earlier about being able to trust yourself. Then when you see who they are and you know who they are, you'll trust it, you'll believe it, and you'll cut ties a lot sooner. And that really will save on heartbreak. That saves on dealing with people who do not deserve your time, that do not deserve your body, that do not deserve your energy. So I love that you bring that up. Audience, what are some deal breakers for you? Or what lets you know when your partner is not a safe space? Or even if it's not your partner, it's someone you may be dating or talking to or interested in, like, how you know? What lets you know that, nah, this ain't cutting it. This is not it. So I want to hear that. This has been really, really good. I really appreciate you all coming out, and as women, us connecting, being vulnerable, challenging ourselves, like, okay, yeah, I need to tighten up on this, or yeah, okay. And sometimes we need our sisters to hold the mirror up to us to be like, sis, I'm gonna need you to work on. Yeah, right. And we need that. And so this is, I love this. If we are not experiencing this, where we have other women that we connect with, that we have a safe space with, what are we losing out on, right? What do we lose out on when we don't have other women that we can confide in, other women that can pull your coattail and say, now, girl, can you stop? Why are you talking to him like that? Like, get your voice together, sis. What do we lose out? And that will end with that question. What do we lose out on when we don't have these safe spaces like that? Oh, Vernell said, yeah, a red flag for her deal breaker is cheating. Vernell, like, and we're gonna have, this is a whole thing, because there are times when we as women, I don't have to see you in the bed, but I know you're cheating. Like if I have to question, if in my mind I need to start feeling like I got to see your phone, it's all right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Cheating. Go ahead. What do we miss out on as women if we don't have these safe spaces? And whoever wants to go first.
Let's see. So having girlfriends to talk to, you don't have to always be in your head, because we can have a good conversation with ourselves and it can just blow the whole thing out of proportion. It's not even what you was thinking, but when you have conversations, to yourself and you're answering the questions too, that's a problem. So having girlfriends that you can talk to, to tell them, what you thinking or how you feeling, and they can let you know, girl, you crazy. No, you shouldn't be doing that, or, whatever. Get you back on the right track. Because, talking to yourself and answering a question is not good. Not good. Because who were you talking to?
That part. Nikki, what do you say? What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, I feel the exact same way. Like if I don't have anybody to bounce my ideas off of, or my crazy thoughts, or relationship questions, or whatever, instead of just being able to tell, oh, well, maybe I should do this, do that. No, I have somebody that I can say, hey, what do you think? Like, you think I'm doing the right or the wrong thing? Like, or do you think, I need to just pull back, and am I acting insecure? Like, what, we need somebody to help you to determine what's going on sometimes. You can't always do it for yourself sometimes, even though you should be able to be in tune with yourself to do that. But sometimes, that time of the month, sometimes, you know, you just not all the way there. Sometimes, you know, I don't know what people go through, but sometimes, you know, so.
Yeah, we all have those moments where
Mhm.
we need support. We need to be able to lean on our sisters, especially if it's you're at a space where you're emotionally drained. Even scripture speaks about the strength of two and threefold.
Coming together.
And so, yeah, needing that.
Mhm.
Janae,
Yes, yes, yes,
I
yes,
love
yes.
saying her name like that. Janae, I love saying your name like that.
Well, thank you. Um, I thrive off of sisterhood and connection. I love doing things with women. And really what you're missing out on is, Nikki said me too. You're missing out on your opportunity for next level. Because when one woman heals, she gives a woman permission to heal. When one woman heals, when she frees herself, it gives another woman permission to set herself free. So it's just the things that, in previous, generations and cultures, they had spaces for women to connect. Even when it was our time in the month, women came together to connect during that time because they were all doing it at the same time. It's culturally where we were. And I think that innately all women desire that. Whether they're afraid or not is one thing, but they desire it no matter what. So you're just missing out on another level of healing and freedom. But it is available to you if you give yourself permission to have it.
Yes.
I love
And
that.
seek it out and look for it or ask for it.
Yeah.
Yep. I love that. Tay said gaining wisdom from each other. Burnell said that she has a girlfriend that lives in a different state, but they have been able to maintain their friendship for over 30 years.
Mhm.
And when we connect with other women, right, that sisterhood, it really does strengthen you. It helps you to grow. It helps you to heal. It also helps you to see yourself. And as you grow and heal, and each one teach one, like Tay was saying earlier, when you get into these relationships, it's a lot easier to have the healthy relationships. And that part is important. One of the things, and listen, I'm going to transition into talking about a few courses that we offer at RDH Counseling and Consulting. So you all have heard us talk about the importance of self-care, of connecting with you, of strengthening the relationship that you have with you, right? So you need help. Sometimes we need people to hold us accountable, like, yo, get the relationship with you together. And so in our self-care course, it's self-paced. That's exactly what you are able to do. We have a community of other women that are also on this journey of becoming their healthiest self. So if that's you, if you need that, connect with us. The link is in the bio. The link is in there. Our self-care course is called Self-Care Becoming Your Own Best Friend. And then we are going to be launching our Love Like You Have Never Been Hurt Before course. And so this is the course for women who want to know how to connect with their partner in a softer way. You've been so used to being rough, hard, tough, doing, and it hasn't maybe ever been taught to you how to do it. You haven't seen it role modeled. And so you're going to have women to hold your hand and take you on this journey so that you can have that relationship that you want. So reach out to us. Let us know if you, number one, you need to be connected with us so that you know when the course comes out. We're going to also be doing a master class. So you'll be getting the information to sign up for that. Ladies, this has been another delicious Relationship Friday conversation. Thank you so much. Yes. Thank y'all to the audience. Y'all kept it going as usual. Every Friday we have delicious conversations. So thank y'all so much for being here. Any last words that y'all want to say before we head out for the night?
just thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure, and I enjoyed conversating with you beautiful ladies as always. Until next time.
Yes, thank you.
Yes,
thank you, Rachel.
Thank you, Rachel.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Again, connect with our guest. Janae does the yoni. She gonna get your yoni right. So that when you're ready to connect with your partner, or if you're married already and you're like, listen, I need to make sure I'm good down there, honey. For those of y'all trying to get sexy in 2022, listen, we talk, we on our Relationship Fridays, we talk everything, right? So we talked about ways to enhance your sex life. When you're in shape, when you have endurance and stamina, honey, there's a lot of things you can do a lot better.
Yes, it is.
Get your body right.
Get it right.
Yes.
Tanya is going to help you get
Yes,
it right.
I am. Yes.
So, yes. It has been a pleasure. I want y'all to be safe, be blessed. We'll see y'all next Friday at 7:30. Share this and invite for the next time. Y'all be blessed. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.